It's time for America Outdoors Radio, the show that covers the outdoor scene across the U.S. of A. and the entire continent. Fishing, hunting, conservation, outdoor recreation, and great destinations, we cover it all every week. It's your country, your outdoors. Let's explore it together with your host, John Cruz.
It's banquet season. Yep. It's that time of year where you're likely getting invites to attend a banquet near you being put on by a conservation organization like Ducks Unlimited or the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, maybe Pheasants Forever or the Mule Deer Foundation, the Coastal Conservation Association, and the list goes on. In addition to those banquets, usually featuring beef, chicken, or the like, there are wild game feeds going on too. Many of these are put on by local sportsmen's associations, and the game has been harvested by the sportsmen that are members of those associations. These dinners, they're something special. We're not just talking venison and salmon here. Oh no, I've attended 2 of these in recent weeks and enjoyed appetizers of duck poppers, bear meatballs, and even bobcat nachos. That one was really different. Almost all of these banquets have a few things in common. Raffles, silent auctions, games of chance with prizes like firearms, and live auctions featuring guided trips and a whole lot more. You may be looking for a deal, but the organizers of the banquet hope you're not looking too hard. That's because these banquets tend to be the major fundraising event of the year for their nonprofits work in your local area. Getting you in the door for the cost of dinner and, in many cases, an annual membership is great, but it's through these other things that happen at the banquet that most of the money is made, and it does make a difference. In fact, there's a good chance the money you spend on that card or bingo game is going to be used for habitat work in the state you live in to benefit fish and wildlife, and the same goes for the money you spend on those auction and raffle items. So, support fish and wildlife, and support them by attending a conservation banquet near you. You'll not only be helping out, but you'll also get to spend an evening with like-minded individuals and friends, enjoy some good food, and maybe come back home with something pretty special you've won. This week on the show, we're going to be focusing on 2 very different themes. Theme 1, striped bass. Theme 2, bears. Let's start off with the striped bass, a fish with a very dedicated following up and down the mid-Atlantic and New England coast. We'll start off talking to a man who invented a very popular fly for stripers and who has come out with a version 2.0. His name is Phil Farnsworth, and not only will we be talking about the flies he invented, we'll be giving away a couple of 4-packs of these flies too, which I have no doubt will work great for freshwater bass. After we talk about flies to use for striped bass, we'll talk to Sean Kearney. He is an East Coast surf tournament angler who loves to fish for stripers. Recently, his work took him to the West Coast, where he now works in marketing for Lamiglas, a very well-known fishing rod manufacturer based in Woodland, Washington. No worries, though. It turns out Lamiglas makes rods just for striper fishing, and Sean's going to tell you not only about these rods, but about striped bass fishing in general, something that will probably motivate you to wade out into the surf and give it a go yourself. Moving on to bears, we'll chat with longtime hunting guide and bush pilot Chad Reel. He is the owner of Wild Alaska Hunts. He's offering hunts for Alaskan brown bears that often stand from 8 to 9 to even 10 feet tall. Chad's going to tell you how he hunts these huge bears and how you can book a hunt with him for the bear of a lifetime. And then there's Corey Santiago. I met him at the Bighorn Outdoor Adventure Show in Spokane, Washington last week, and he is the inventor of something called the bear bowl. No, this isn't the type of bowl the 3 bears use for porridge when Goldilocks isn't breaking into their den. This is an ingenious, reusable cooking receptacle for your camp stove that collapses and folds into something you can stick into your back pocket or backpack. Corey actually pitched his bear bowl cooking pot on the television show Shark Tank, and I'm looking forward to sharing his Shark Tank story with you, as well as finding out more about how he invented this really cool backcountry accessory. Before we talk bear bowls, though, let's get back to striped bass and a fly that will help you catch them. Next up on America Outdoors Radio, we're going to talk to a very interesting man named Phil Farnsworth. Now, if you ever venture out onto the beaches of Old Saybrook, Connecticut at certain times of year, you're likely to see fly anglers casting for stripers, and chances are they may well be casting a fly developed here back in the early 1980s, the Farnsworth Fly. With us here to tell us more is the inventor of that fly, Phil Farnsworth. Great to have you on the show today.
Oh, it's great to be here. I appreciate it, John.
So, Phil, we're going to be giving a couple 4-packs of these flies away, and I'll be honest, the other 4-pack I'm going to be using myself, but I've got to start off by saying these flies are not like any other flies I've seen. First off, where's the feathers? I don't see any feathers. Why don't you describe these flies to our listeners?
Sure. Well, there are no feathers. We eliminated the feathers, and we're putting a soft plastic grub tail or a paddle tail on the back of the fly now, and it creates, quite a lot more action. So it was nice, the fact that you could change out the tails. There's a little spring on the back of the fly, and you can just spin on a new tail, any size or color or shape you want, and it really makes the fly act quite differently than the old fly with just the buck tails.
So we have the curly tail grub on the back end along with the hook. What's the material on the front end? It almost looks like balsa wood, though I know that's not correct.
Right. Originally they were made out of balsa wood, the core, but now we're making them out of a closed cell foam. It's really a sign foam. If you go to any kind of store and there's a sign on the front of the store, that is closed cell foam. So made out of closed cell foam, and then they have a bright colored prismatic tape wrapped around the foam, and then some eyes are put on, and then they're sealed up with electrical heat shrink tubing. And the name gets printed on the top, Farnsworth Fly, so you know it's the original if it says Farnsworth. It kind of gets heated down and becomes quite a durable body for the fly.
So the 4-packs we're giving away, folks. We've got them in orange, in silver, and green, and white, all great colors. We got some extra white curly tail grubs to put on the back of those flies, too. Let's talk about how you fish this. It almost looks like a little top water plug if you're a bass or panfish angler, or a popper, I guess, if you're a fly angler.
Exactly. I don't pop the fly. I generally cast it, straight across and pull it back kind of slow. And depending on the kind of fish you're going after, if you're going after a bluefish or a tuna, you might want to move that fly a little faster. But yeah, casting them across rips is very productive. Sometimes even dead drift. I think because of the rubber tail and the spring that holds the tail on in the back with the foam body, it kind of makes the fly kind of like a banjo. It vibrates like a guitar string.
Right.
I think it really attracts fish.
How did you come up with this idea for stripers?
Well, I could see all the bait fish in the water, and traditionally the flies we were using would always sink down, and I thought it was hard to imitate, bait fish near the top of the water. So that's how that, just by seeing the fish in front of me, I figured, well, what can I do to make a fly that will float up in the film and on the surface? And that's what came to me, that kind of small slider. And boy, it's just been deadly for years now.
So you mentioned in the salt that it catches bluefish, tuna, striped bass, but I'm just looking at this. I'm thinking this would be a great largemouth and smallmouth bass lure too.
Definitely largemouth, smallmouth, any kind of salmon, a landlocked salmon, walleye, northern pike, any kind of a topwater, fish will grab that fly quickly. But I like to fish them in lakes and ponds, and even in small streams I've caught trout on them. So it's pretty amazing what that tail's doing.
I have no doubt it would catch any of the above. I'm actually looking forward to fishing this myself for bass later this spring. And folks, 2 of you are going to get the chance to fish it too, because we're giving away 2 4-packs. And if you want them, here's how you get them. You go to our Facebook page at America Outdoors Radio. First off, like our page at America Outdoors Radio, then go to the post thread and let us know where you tune into our show from. Just city and state, that's all we need, and you're entered for a chance to win. We'll give away 2 of them. And if you want to look at these yourself, go to the website. It's farnsworthfly.com, just like it sounds, farnsworthfly.com. Is that where they're for sale too?
Yes, we're on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. It's farnsworthfly.com, and there's a nice website there where you can go in and purchase the flies.
All right, so check them out on YouTube to see exactly how they work. Check them out on Facebook, and then again, go to our Facebook page at America Outdoors Radio for the giveaway we're doing this weekend. And if you want to buy them, just go to farnsworthfly.com. Like I said, I have no doubt these are going to catch everything from stripers to smallmouth to largemouth, bluefish, and a whole lot more at a waterway near you. Phil, thanks for telling us about this today on America Outdoors Radio.
Great, John. Thank you, too. Good luck, and let us know what kind of fish you're catching.
We've been telling you about Sportsman's Cove Lodge in Southeast Alaska for a while now, and there's a reason. They are the only Alaska lodge we talk about on this show. It's because they're truly Alaska's best lodge. The adventure starts with a float plane ride from Ketchikan, after which you'll get the chance to experience some of the best hospitality, food, and wonderful people you'll ever meet. Wildlife is abundant, from bears and deer to eagles and whales, and let's not forget the reason you're here, the fishing. Halibut, salmon, lingcod, rockfish, true cod, and more. It's all waiting for you in abundance at Sportsman's Cove Lodge. Book your trip today at alaskasbestlodge.com. That's alaskasbestlodge.com for Sportsman's Cove Lodge.
Sportsman's Warehouse is America's premier outfitter, and with over 90 locations, you're sure to find a store near you full of the gear you need to succeed this hunting season. Firearms, ammo, archery equipment, decoys, clothing, boots, and more. You'll find it all at Sportsman's Warehouse. Better still, the knowledgeable staff can help you with tips and frequent in-store seminars, all designed to help you bag a trophy or a limit this hunting season. Find a location near you or shop online today at sportsmanswarehouse.com.
You're back in with America Outdoors Radio. I'm John Cruz, and we're going to talk about striper fishing. That's right, striped bass. They are as popular on the East Coast and have that same sort of mystique that steelhead have on the West Coast. And so I think it's appropriate that we're talking to Sean Kearney today, because he is an East Coast striper fisherman who has been transplanted to Lamiglas, a very famous rod manufacturer located in Woodland, Washington. Sean, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, John.
You're going to have to educate me and a lot of our listeners out west about striped bass, because, frankly, we know it's a big deal, but we don't really know why, and we don't really know a whole lot about catching them. So let's start off with why stripers are such a big deal, and what is considered a keeper bass and a trophy bass when it comes to striped bass.
Well, I think striped bass, they just have this kind of unique aura about them that kind of drive people crazy to chase after them. You know, it's like steelhead out west. The steelhead is kind of like a saltwater trout, you know, that just grows 20, 30 pounds, grow to these huge sizes. And striped bass out there, it's kind of the same deal. They're like a saltwater bass that can grow, you know, commonly 30 and 40 pounds and have been recorded all the way up to 125 pounds. So it's just, there's just something about them that you really never know how big of a bass you're going to hook into. And it really just gets people going and kind of drives people crazy trying to chase after the biggest one they could find.
Well, and I guess another great thing about striped bass is you don't need a boat necessarily to catch them. You can catch them from the surf. As a matter of fact, you were a tournament angler that was a surf tournament angler. I think that's really interesting. Why don't you break down the hot spots, or I should say the hot states for striper fishing, and what are the general seasons for fishing for them?
You know, I can't go too far into detail because us surfcasters are pretty secretive about our spots.
Let's just stick with the states then.
You know, generally, any state where stripers run can be a hot state at a certain time of the year. They're a highly migratory fish, and they start out. They overwinter in the Chesapeake Bay to spawn, so they start coming out of the Chesapeake Bay around March or so. And so, you know, by April, you know, the April full moon, New Jersey is on fire. That's the hot spot, you know, and then they continue their migration north following the water temperature. and Long Island, New York will be a hot spot for a month or so. And then they'll keep traveling north to Connecticut, Rhode Island for the summertime, June, July, August. Then they'll, Massachusetts, the Cape Cod Canal will be a hot spot for most of the summer. So at any given month in the year, from March until about December, that hot state will change.
Interesting.
So it's a fun process, kind of tracking them and following the migration. Like for myself, I still, even though I live out west here, I fly over there once a month, particularly during the full and the new moons, because that's when you have the best shot at getting a larger fish. So like next month in April, for the full moon, I'm going to be in New Jersey. And then in May, I'll probably be in New York and so on. So it's a really fun process chasing those fish around.
You're fishing the new moon, you're fishing the full moon. Is this a nighttime fishery primarily? Do they bite better at night than they do during the day?
Absolutely, especially from the surf. So that's why surf casters, they don't really sleep much. If you have a boat, you can go out to the deeper water, during the day, any time of day, and you could find big schools of striped bass and catch them fairly easily. But at night, the striped bass come in shallower, and that's when the surf casting is at its best. I mean, sure, you can get into some good daytime fishing from the surf, find some blitzes going on every now and then, but if you really want to consistently catch a lot of striped bass, and especially the larger striped bass, you've got to be out there at night.
All right, so Sean, let's talk a little bit about how you go about it in terms of lures, bait, flies. Do they all work?
Oh, absolutely. They've all got their time and place. I catch them on flies during the daytime on flat, sight fishing for them, which is an amazing experience. But most of the time, especially when I'm fishing a tournament, I'm out there at night. And what I'm using all depends on the situation. Is the water calm? Do I have 4-foot swells? Is the wind calm? Am I casting into 40-knot winds? So ideally, if I want to go out and I want to find the biggest striped bass that's swimming around me, I'm going to go out at night. I'm going to have calmer conditions, and I'll be using either a live eel, unweighted, just retrieving it really slowly, or casting out a huge chunk of a fresh menhaden. They just can't resist those things, and they smell them from a mile away. That's what I do to get the largest ones. Both of my striped bass that I've caught from the surf, over 50 pounds, were both on bait. But I've definitely caught my fair share of 30 and 40-plus pound stripers from the surf on lures like super strike darters and big metal lip swimmers. So it all depends on the conditions, really. But that's just one of the things that's so cool about striped bass. You can catch them so many different ways. Lures, bait, flies, different size lures, small lures. I mean, it's just a really cool fish to pursue.
You're listening to America Outdoors Radio. I'm John Cruz. We're talking to Sean Kearney with Lamiglas, and we're talking about fishing for striped bass along the East Coast. Now, Lamiglas, even though they're a West Coast rod manufacturer, they sell rods all over the nation, and I understand they sell rods specifically for striper fishing.
Absolutely, yeah. Our first blank that we ever created back in 1949 was an 11-foot one-piece surf rod meant for striped bass fishing on the East Coast. And fast forward now, we've got 3 different surf rod lineups currently, and we are designing 2 more that'll be released this season just for striped bass.
What is your most popular rod for surf casters when it comes to striped bass?
The most popular rod, hands down, is the GSB Surf Series. The blanks have been around for about 25 to 30 years now, and you can ask any surf caster up and down the East Coast what the most popular surf rod is, and they'll all tell you it's a Lamiglas GSB. They're just the most durable surf rods that have ever been, created. They're probably the most versatile too. They don't do one thing perfect, but they will do anything that you want it to do adequate. And for that reason, they've been a staple in the Northeast for surf casting for years and years. And I actually just helped redesign that entire rod series a year ago, kind of modernize it, updated the components, the look of it, and they're more popular than ever now.
Well, we are out of time, but folks, if you want to find out more about these great rods that Lamiglas makes for surf casting, for striped bass, just go to their website. It's lamiglas.com. That's LAMIGLAS.com. And they're in lots of sporting goods stores all over the nation, too. So if you haven't tried striped bass fishing before, I think Sean's probably got you convinced. I know he's got me convinced that it's something we need to try. Sean, thanks so much for sharing this with us today on America Outdoors Radio.
All right, thanks for having me, John.
Backcountry Hunters and Anglers seeks to ensure North America's outdoor heritage of hunting and fishing through education and work on behalf of wild public lands and waters. Lend your voice to the fight by visiting www.backcountryhunters.org and join the 25,000 men and women who have pledged to defend wildlife and public access. You can also demonstrate your support by signing up for the 2019 North American Rendezvous in Boise, Idaho, May 1st to the 5th.
Looking to reel in the marketing opportunity of a lifetime? Then set the hook, because we've got it right here. America Outdoors Radio has sponsorships available, and we offer an affordable platform to reach thousands of listeners interested in fishing, hunting, and the outdoors. Find out more by contacting host John Cruz through his website at AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com. That's AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com. But hurry, if you wait too long, this big opportunity might just get away. That's AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com.
Back in with America Outdoors Radio. I'm John Cruz. We've been prowling the aisles of the Bighorn Outdoor Adventure Show in Spokane, and we've got some audio that we got to bring you about something that's really cool. It's called the Bear Bowl Cookpot, and it solves a problem that many of us have who pack into the backcountry. I mean, if you've got a backpack on, you want small things that fit compactly, and one thing that's always a hassle is, well, the pot you're going to cook your food in, whether it's freeze-dried food or something else. The Bear Bowl Cookpot solves that. With us here to tell you more about this very, very innovative invention that was featured on Shark Tank is the inventor, Corey Santiago. Corey, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Why don't you explain to our listeners, this is radio, so you're going to have to go ahead and describe exactly what this looks like and how it works.
A lot of people have likened it to a Chinese to-go box. It is not made out of paper, but it is a flexible material. It's a Teflon-coated fiberglass. It starts as a sheet, and then we do that magical origami to it to bring it into a cube shape. A couple of snaps, and basically our little bit here is 4 folds and 2 snaps, and then you have yourself a cook pot. So it starts about the size of a wallet. You open it up and then snap it together, and then you have a cube, a cook pot.
And I'm going to have to stop you here because everyone's imagining this. It's like, wait a second. This kind of like lightweight material that folds with the handle on top with the really good-looking blue paracord. Isn't that going to melt on my camp stove?
Thanks for asking. No. Yeah. It does not melt on the thing is the material is rated for about 550 degrees. We added early on, after prototyping this design, we've added the metal plate on the bottom. So we have a thick gauge aluminum plate that's riveted to the base, and that then solved the problem of direct flame. And so it can take all the direct flame you want to throw at it, and now you have something that is reusable, because we didn't want to create a disposable cook pot just because it was smaller. We wanted something that you could use over and over again, and that's what we have with the Bear Bowl right now.
Well, I love the fact that, like you said, it folds into something so small you can literally put it in your back pocket or in your backpack with no problem at all. Takes up just about no space whatsoever. Love the fact that it's lightweight. Love the fact that it's durable and reusable. How did you come up with this idea?
I came up with this because I was putting together a small survival kit. And, there's lots of small things that you can put into a kit. One of the things I was having problems with was the cook pot. And I started playing around with tin foil and trying to build this, again, an origami type of a pot that you could fold down and open back up and put water in and put it over a fire and purify water, which is an important part of it.
A really important part of it.
If you want to survive. Yeah, that's the key. But yeah, and that was a really, in my mind, it was a really ingenious idea that just had really poor application. The tinfoil was always flimsy. I mean, you could possibly get it to boil water, but then getting that water out of it into your body became a real
problem.
Yes. It mainly turned into a really good way to put out fires, which was pick up your bowl, it falls apart, and then your fire's gone.
Well, Corey, the bottom line is this. You definitely built a better mousetrap, so you can boil water. If you've got freeze-dried food, this is perfect to cook freeze-dried food in. If you're a backpacker, folks, you're going to be throwing away whatever pot or pan you've been using. You're going to want the Bear Bowl cook pot, again, for just the way you can store it without taking up space and how lightweight it is and just how convenient it is, too. Now, I've got to ask about Shark Tank. You're actually the second person I've interviewed who's made a deal on Shark Tank with an outdoors item. Tell me what happened. Just very briefly, your Shark Tank experience with the Bear Bowl.
Well, we started our company with a Kickstarter, which is a national or international platform online. And when we were, just a couple of weeks into it, one of the executive producers of Shark Tank reached out to us via email and said, hey, this could be a really good product for our show. Would you be interested? I'm the executive director of Shark Tank. And I thought, sure you are.
But he really was.
He really was. The thing is you get tons of those types of emails. We can get you more help and blah, blah, blah. And so I just put it on the side. And several months later, I reached back out and said, hey, we're in a position now. We've sold in over 30 countries, blah, blah, blah. I think this would be a good fit for your show. Are you still interested? Do you have any time to call or talk? And he called, or we had a conversation 45 minutes later. And he basically just invited us to go through the application process. So it was great to have the outreach, but it didn't give us any leg up. It just put us in the system to do that.
Fast forward, the application process worked out, and you find yourself where? In New York, in front of the Sharks, pitching your product, pitching the Bear Bowl?
California, so in the studios down there. And then we were down there. We pitched to the Sharks. We got 2 offers, one from Damon John and one from their guest shark, Jamie Siminoff, who was shark bait himself 5 years before. And didn't get a deal, went and built up his company and came back to be a shark. And so we were actually his first deal.
We should tell people what Jamie's company was, because people are going to be pretty impressed.
Jamie came to the show with a product called Doorbot, and it didn't do well. After it didn't do well on Shark Tank, he rebranded. He got some backing with Richard Branson, and they rebranded to what we know as Ring, or Ring.com, or Ring Doorbell is the main item that they do. But they branched out, of course, to a bunch of things. And just last year, sold his company to Amazon for $1 billion.
Wow. Well, I'm hoping the Bear Bowl Cookpot is as wildly famous and profitable as that was. I'm not sure it will be, but I think you did do great in getting a deal and getting 2 offers. That's no easy task on Shark Tank, so you're definitely doing fantastic. The question I've got now, is there a website where people can take a look at this, and where can people buy the Bear Bowl?
Yeah, we sell them on our website, bareminimum.org. We also are on Amazon. You can just search it with Bear Bowl, and that's bear like the animal. And then we're also in Amazon Canada, which is helpful for our friends in Canada who don't want to pay the crazy shipping just over the border. And then we're in some local stores here in Spokane, and then we are also we're now shipping to REI across the country.
Well, I have no doubt this product is going to do great with the folks who shop at REI. Understand you're also with Mountain Gear. Have no doubt it's going to do great there. And again, folks, if you don't have an REI or a Mountain Gear near you, go to the website. Start there, bareminimum.org. That's bear like the bear, not bear like you're naked. It's bear like the grizzly, bear like the black bear. Bareminimum.org is a website to start at. And then go to Amazon if you want to go there, or again, just right off the website, and get yourself a Bear Bowl cook pot. If you're a backpacker or somebody who really values space, you are going to love this method of being able to cook your meals. Corey, really appreciate you sharing your story with us today on America Outdoors Radio.
Thanks for having me.
We've been telling you about Sportsman's Cove Lodge in Southeast Alaska for a while now, and there's a reason. They are the only Alaska lodge we talk about on this show. It's because they're truly Alaska's best lodge. The adventure starts with a float plane ride from Ketchikan, after which you'll get the chance to experience some of the best hospitality, food, and wonderful people you'll ever meet. Wildlife is abundant, from bears and deer to eagles and whales, and let's not forget the reason you're here, the fishing. Halibut, salmon, lingcod, rockfish, true cod, and more. It's all waiting for you in abundance at Sportsman's Cove Lodge. Book your trip today at alaskasbestlodge.com. That's alaskasbestlodge.com for Sportsman's Cove Lodge.
There's no more majestic, magical, adventuresome country than the western United States of America to enjoy a great family vacation. Hello, I'm Mark Hemstreet, owner of Shiloh Inns. Shiloh Inns are still offering affordable 4-star accommodations at 2-star prices. Enjoy deluxe smoke-free suites, spacious pools and spas, and fully equipped fitness centers. From free high-speed internet in every room to a free continental breakfast or full, hot, delicious breakfast at most Shiloh Inns. There are no hidden fees like some of the big chain hotels charge. Even the kids stay free, and Shiloh Inns are dog-friendly. For reservations, call 1-800-222-2244 or visit our website at shilohins.com. Shiloh Inns, affordable excellence. American family-owned and proud of it.
Are you looking to reel in the marketing opportunity of a lifetime? Then set the hook, because we've got it right here for you. America Outdoors Radio has sponsorships available, and we offer affordable platforms to reach thousands of listeners interested in fishing, hunting, and the outdoors. Find out more by contacting John Cruz through his website at AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com. That's AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com. Hurry, though. If you wait too long, the big opportunity might just get away. AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com.
There's a place where the fishing is year-round, where the sun shines 300 days a year. The wineries and breweries are right downtown. The hiking and cycling offer spectacular views you just don't get in the big cities. Fortunately, the place is real and vibrant. It's the Dalles, Oregon, just 90 short minutes from Portland, along the gorgeous Columbia River, where the adventures are limited only by your imagination. Find out more at explorethedalles.com.
This land, once wild and free, fades now from our memory. But I remember what it was like, what we were like, what we are capable of when we band together. Perhaps more than any other landscape, wetlands embody the life-giving abundance that nature has to offer. And perhaps more than any other organization, Ducks Unlimited is working to ensure that our continent's wetlands not only survive, but thrive. for generations well beyond this one. These natural wonders are where waterfowl begin their cycle of life, where the deer and the antelope play, and where we, the people, gather together to see and share what makes the outdoors so great. The time is now to band together with organizations like Ducks Unlimited. The time is now to rescue our wetlands.
Welcome back to America Outdoors Radio. I'm John Cruz. A reminder about that 4-pack of flies we're giving away from Farnsworth Flies. They were invented by Phil Farnsworth, who fished for stripers along the coastline of Connecticut back in the 1980s. Version 2.0 is now out, and these flies, which actually feature a curly-tailed grub on the back, are sure to catch not only stripers, but also freshwater bass and probably a lot of other species too. If you want to enter for a chance to win one of the 2 packs we're giving away, here's what you do. Go to our Facebook page. You'll find it at America Outdoors Radio. Like our page, then go to the post thread where we've got the information about this giveaway, and just let us know, what city and state do you listen to our show from? That's all we need. The city and state that you live in, and you are entered for a chance to win these flies. They're worth about $40, the whole package together. And like I said, they are sure to catch fish. Whether you're a striper angler or any other kind of angler, I think you're going to like the Farnsworth Fly. And we're giving away 2 packs this weekend. Let's give you a little tournament fishing news from Fishing League Worldwide. Fishing in his 6th event with FLW, Pro Brent Butler of Vonore, Tennessee, caught a 15 bass limit over 3 days, weighing 68.5 pounds to win the Costa FLW Series at Tennessee's Lake Chickamauga, presented by TH Marine. Butler's 3-day total was enough to earn him the victory at the Southeastern Division Tournament and a check for nearly $46,000. Butler didn't look like a winner on day 1, catching 14 pounds of bass and sitting in 40th place, but on day 2, Butler swung for the fences, and he connected, catching a 5 bass limit that weighed an astonishing 37 pounds, the 5th largest weighed in during this tournament series history. Think about that. That's 5 bass averaging over 7 pounds apiece. That is fantastic. That performance propelled him to the top, and with another decent day last Saturday, he came out at the very top. Rounding out the top 3 anglers at this FLW event were Brian Thrift from Shelby, North Carolina. He caught 15 bass weighing 63 pounds. That was good enough for a second place check of $17,000. And Derek Hicks from Rocky Face, Georgia. His 15 bass weighed 61 pounds, and he'll be cashing in a third place check for nearly $13,000. Next up on America Outdoors Radio, are you looking to maybe bag the biggest bear of your life? If so, you'll probably want to head to Alaska, and you'll probably want to go after one of those Alaskan brown bears, and we're talking to just the person who can help you with that. Longtime guide and owner of Wild Alaska Hunts, also former high school classmate of mine, Chad Reel. Chad, great to have you back on the air.
Hi, John. It's good to be here.
It's always a pleasure to talk to you, especially here at the Bighorn Outdoor Adventure Show in Spokane. Let's talk a little bit about the hunts you're offering for brown bear up in Alaska, exactly where and when.
Well, we hunt down on the Alaska Peninsula, and it is, on the even years, it's a spring hunt, and the odd years, it's a fall hunt. And the spring hunt starts May 10th. The fall hunt starts October 1st.
Let's start off with how big these bears are, because I think most people around the continental United States who are used to seeing like 150, 200-pound black bear, they just don't understand, do they?
Brown bears are quite a bit bigger. The coastal browns can get upwards to 1,000, 1,200, 1,400 pounds.
Good Lord. What sort of weapon do you recommend people use when it comes to hunting these bears?
Use enough gun. 300 Winchester and above. There's a lot of really good Magnum calibers now out there. 300 Remington Ultra, A lot of guys of the old school like the 375 calibers, 416, bigger, heavier is better.
And I'm guessing, as painful as it might be, spending a little range time at home before you show up with you is probably a good idea.
Yeah, it is a good idea.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit about what a hunt with you looks like when it comes to these coastal brown bears. People are going to book with you, and they're going to show up, and what happens next?
Well, they fly into Port Hayden down south of King Salmon, and I pick them up in the Super Cub, and we fly out to base camp. From there, I put them with their guide in spike camps. In the fall, we're hunting salmon streams and berry patches. We try and find some marine mammals on the beach. There's walruses and whales float up on the beach all the time. And if you get a good fresh whale or walrus, even an old walrus, we're usually multiple bears on those in the falls.
That's really interesting. So I'm used to, when it comes to bear hunting, kind of like glassing ridge lines, and then you basically go stalk and see if you can make the shot. But it sounds like here you're looking to place yourself in a position where the bear is going to come to you. Is that correct?
Yeah, to some degree, John. It's in the springtime, we're looking for the bears coming out of their dens and coming down. The sows are trying to lay scent trails, and the boars are looking for the sows. So we do a lot of sitting and glassing. And in the fall, we're hunting a food source. If there's a particularly good salmon stream that has a particularly good run of late silvers that year, then we're hunting on a salmon stream. Or, like I said, if we can find a good whale, walrus on the beach, that's always a good guarantee that there's going to be bears on it. And generally, there'll always be one really big bear, and then there'll usually be some other real good ones.
When it comes to a shooter, in terms of, your people, they're paying a good amount of money to go hunt with you on these trips. What's the minimum weight that they generally expect?
Everybody wants a 10-foot bear, but realistically, depending on what shape a guy's in and how many times he wants to come hunting, we try to get bears in the 9-foot and better.
I'd say 9 foot and better is plenty big for most folks. Last question for you. The quality of the hide, because I know taxidermy is a really big deal here. Spring versus fall, I'm guessing that fall bear is going to be in a lot better shape than that spring bear.
If you get an early spring bear, and sometimes even a late spring bear, a good spring bear hide is better than a fall hide. But having said that, in the spring, oftentimes you'll get bears that are rubbed, where in the fall you won't get any rubs. And the fall hides will be excellent. A really good spring bear, early spring bear will actually be better than a really good fall bear.
Well, there's some great information for you about brown bear hunting in Alaska. And if you want to hunt with somebody who's been guiding for a long time, get a hold of Chad Reel. His website is wildalaskahunts.com. That's wildalaskahunts.com. Book either a spring or fall brown bear trip to Alaska and see if you can get yourself a 9-footer. Chad, as always, a pleasure to chat with you.
Thanks, John. It's always good seeing you.
While you're on the web, checking out Chad Reel's Alaska bear hunting opportunities, don't forget to catch our show, at least if you're tuning in Saturday mornings between 6 and 7 a.m. Eastern Time. We air on talkamericaradio.us every Saturday at that time frame, and this is one of the great conservative talk stations you can listen to. Online radio also has several terrestrial affiliates in Georgia and Florida, and we are glad to be part of that network. You can also hear our show, albeit a few days later, as a podcast, and you can do so on 3 different platforms: Podbean, Stitcher, and YouTube. Just look for America Outdoors Radio, and don't forget our Facebook page and our website too. The Facebook page, again, America Outdoors Radio. The website, AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com. We post podcasts there as well. I do hope the good Lord blesses you in the days ahead, and whether you are looking to fish for freshwater bass, saltwater stripers, or prepare for a spring turkey or bear hunt, there is a lot to look forward to in April, and I hope you will be able to get out there and enjoy one or more of these activities. After all, it is your country and your outdoors, so get out there and enjoy it.
Are you looking to reel in the marketing opportunity of a lifetime? Then set the hook, because we've got it right here for you. America Outdoors Radio has sponsorships available, and we offer affordable platforms to reach thousands of listeners interested in fishing, hunting, and the outdoors. Find out more by contacting John Cruz through his website at AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com. That's AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com. Hurry, though. If you wait too long, the big opportunity might just get away. AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com.
Hi, I'm Craig Boddington. I've written about hunting for 40 years, much of it in bear country. I trust my life to bear spray because the research is in. It stopped bears 92% of the time and prevented injury 98% of the time. Bear spray requires less accuracy and won't harm your companions or the bear. Carry bear spray in bear country. Keep it accessible and practice.